What's up, Cradle fans? Last second video alert. I had a thought, which turned into another thought, which led to this video. It's a short video, 10 minutes or so, probably 8 minutes. And it's basically, why are there so few Heralds on Cradle? That's it. Let's get into it then. Alright, so this comes from, these thoughts come from a couple different references that Will has made over the years. The first being, and I'll show it, I'll probably show it right there. I'll show it right there. Of Will saying that if the Sword Sage had gotten any stronger, the Abadan would have likely removed him. So I've thought about this for a long time, about why there are so few super powerful people on Cradle, especially as you progress further through the ranks, and your lifespan gets longer and longer. So we've seen Zeal get to Arc Lord before age 35. And I feel like that's not super uncommon, especially in the areas of the world where they have cultivation kind of on lock. Like the Nine Cloud Court or the Eight-Man Empires region. Like, I'm sure they have a ton of Arc Lord stewards, or not stewards, squires. I'm sure they have a lot of squires that are Arc Lord level that are ready to fill in should any of the heralds in the Eight-Man Empire die. And so the basis of this is that the Abadan is like a neutering organization designed to keep iterations progressing along their natural lifespan. So with regards to iterations that have magic systems like Cradles, they intervene when anyone gets so powerful that they can upset fate. We know that this is true with regards to Athen and Linden, and Will has mentioned several times that the Abadan may or may not jump in and intervene to save fate. Typically, it's not at the judge level, but his quote about removing Tim Adama, the Sword Sage, if he got stronger, makes me believe that very few heralds get to stay on Cradle because they become strong enough that what they are trying to do, or what their path is, what their purpose for practicing the sacred arts is, would disrupt the fate of Cradle. It would alter the balance of power to the point where the Abadan have to come in. All right, what's up, bro? You're too strong. Come with us. And only the monarchs kind of get to decide to stay. But even then, you can't get to a monarch unless the Abadan have looked at your fate and been like, all right, you're not going to destroy Cradle. You can get that strong if you're able to, so on and so forth. The second thing that made me think about this at all was the recent AMA that Will did on Reddit, where someone asked him the question, and I'll actually read it to you. K. Kudlow asked, if it's easier to become a herald than a sage, and a herald is more powerful, why would anyone choose to become a sage besides the cool name? Will's response was two parts. The first part, the Abadan like sages better. Now, at first glance, that makes me feel like, oh, the Abadan like sages because they're able to use the way better. But I don't really know if that's what he meant. I think it was a clever bit of wordplay. But then he goes on to say also, sages have certain advantages that heralds don't have, and generally, sages are people who are focused on exploring the depth of their path rather than advancing for the sake of power. So, two things there. The Abadan like sages better. The Abadan might like sages better because they are able to... It's basically that they don't become so powerful that they jack with the iteration, that they jack with the fate of the iteration. They are also people who want to focus on their path, focus on the sacred arts, not advance for the sake of power. So for someone who wants to advance for the sake of power, ascending makes a lot of sense because you want to continue to get stronger. But for someone who wants to explore the depth of their path, taking an alternate route and going sage allows you to effectively become immortal and continue to learn your path and to perfect it and to explore it, right? Without having to jump to Herald and risk your fate being taken out of your hands. Now, there aren't that many sages either, probably because it's so hard. And some people might just give up and advance to Herald or die as an Arc Lord, whatever. But I haven't heard of any Heralds of the Dread God clans. Well, I guess there is one with the Bleeding Phoenix, but I'm not sure if there is one. I think that might have just been, I don't know. We'll see. I know that the Sage of Red Faith acts in that place. But yeah, that's the whole thought basically, is that there aren't that many Heralds on Cradle because so few individuals can reach that level and attain that amount of power without potentially disrupting the fate of Cradle. So it's going to be interesting when we see our team get to that point, because I feel they are all either going to have to go the route of Sage, or they are all mostly going to have to go the route of Herald to get more power so they can keep up with the timeline. It's going to be cool to see how that interactions with the Abadan go. I wonder if Suriel will get involved, or maybe Osriel, or someone who has a stake in their success, intervening on their behalf and saying, all right, we need to let them continue their mission on Cradle while they do this, that, and the other thing for whatever reason. Now, we might see Cradle. I think that for the final battle, if it is a final battle against the Dread Gods, they have to be at least Monarch level. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's a little bit of an aside, a little bit of some theories thrown in there. So what do y'all think? Why do you think there are so few Heralds? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments, or, bring up the discussion in the Cradle or spoiler chat on the Discord. I'd be fascinated to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Oh, the next video, I'm doing a series recapping all the books. So I'll be recapping Unsold next. Later.